Welcome back, everyone, to another video. And this is one of my more podcasty style videos where I'm just here talking to you about my thoughts. And one of the biggest issues I see in today's property community is that people often talk about how property is your gateway to escape your 9 to 5, right? Your gateway to financial freedom. All these slogans are always thrown out to you constantly across YouTube, Facebook ads, and more. And anyone who's been investing in property for more than 5 minutes would have experienced this altogether. Now, I wanted to just sort of sit here and tell you that no, property investment will not necessarily make you financially free. And I don't want investors, especially new and young investors, to continually think that, because there are a couple of things that are fundamentally wrong and I think are hidden behind that message. And I want to break down my viewpoint about how I approach my sort of finances, investing philosophy, and more. And so when I look at this sort of wealth chart, and this might seem super obvious to 90% of investors out there, but I don't think it's emphasized enough. Wealth is always broken down into multiple components. Now, in Australia, you can say we're fortunate, we're unfortunate, etc. But with property and in regards to property, we have some very favorable laws that make it almost stupid not to invest into property. And that's a frank statement, right? We have negative gearing benefits. We also have the capital gains discount. And I know that right now there's discussions around capital gains discount being changed or being removed completely or grandfathered, etc. But for the purposes of this video, at this point in time, negative gearing and capital gains tax makes investing in property extremely lucrative. And apart from that, when we have such a poor supply pipeline coming in of new houses, it's almost a guaranteed bet that houses are going to continue increasing in prices over the foreseeable future. Now, when we're thinking about property, you've only got to buy and hold about 3 to 4 properties to be ahead of 95% of Australians out there, right? As soon as you get to 2 properties investing, even if you don't have your PPOR, if you have 2 properties that you're ready to hold for the next 30, 40 years, you will watch that properties double and double and double again during that couple of decades. Now, the strategy that people often talk about of getting $150,000 passive income or $100,000 passive income through property investment is when you purchase 5 to 10 properties. Say you purchase 6 properties. Over the next 3 decades, you let those 6 properties grow in value, and then you take 3 properties, you sell that off, you pay off the debt on those properties, and then you use the extra cash to then go pay off the debt on the other 3 properties. So then you have, say, 3 assets that are completely debt free, that are generating you passive income minus your maintenance costs. And then they call that financial freedom. Now, yes, everyone will love to have $100,000 in passive income after 10 to 20 years. That is important, right? And that is a really good goal to work towards. In this day and age, however, it is becoming incredibly hard to achieve that goal. And what I mean by incredibly hard, it's taking longer to achieve that goal. And there's a couple of reasons. Borrowing capacity ceilings. You have higher entry costs when it comes to property. We're talking about good properties in the $600,000 plus range now. And during those 15 to 20 years of holding those assets, we're talking about starting off on a low yield base, around 4 to 6% maximum. And so you're about negative $10,000 to $20,000 depending on where you're buying and what you're buying. And a person on an average income, and what I mean by average, I mean like a median income of $60,000 to $70,000, it's a hard task to achieve. By the time you get to your second property, you're going to be feeling the strain already, especially if you're renting out and paying amount on rent, right? This also assumes that you are not purchasing your PPOR during that time. This also assumes other factors like, oh, you might not have kids along the way, or you might have other serious medical bills that need to be paid. There are so many unknown factors when it comes to using property investment as your only gateway to financial freedom. It shouldn't be, because during 15, 20, 30 years, so many things can change. CGT can get cancelled, negative gearing can disappear, trust may not be a thing anymore in 20 years' time. There are so many things that can change that you should not be putting all your eggs into one basket. And that is the problem with property. It is an extremely addictive investing scenario. I love property investing. I am in love with it, and I do it for the game, right? I do it because we have to accumulate wealth in this country. It is one of the smartest way to do it. But you should not be rigid to the point where you only invest into property. There are other important things you must do. You must invest into stocks. In my opinion, you should be looking at stocks. Now, the reason I say you should be looking at stocks is because it is the easiest way to accumulate wealth while also having easily accessible liquid cash. When you invest in property, you really should be investing with the mindset of holding it decades because property transaction costs are extremely expensive, from stamp duty to sales agent fees to commissions to brokers, etc. It's an expensive process. You can invest in stocks and ETFs for literally $0 in terms of the brokerage fee, right? And with stocks, you can slowly accumulate that over 20, 30 years or so. Just by investing small amounts of $500 to $1,000 every single month, you can build up a little nest egg that you can hold, that once you reach 50, that you can look to do an early retirement based off that and based off withdrawing 4%, assuming you're having about $1 million in ETFs, right? Now, these are just some vague numbers, but the point stands is that property is one form of an investment. You should be looking at stocks, gold, and other means of investing that isn't just purely property itself. And then in Australia, you have the beautiful thing of what we call super, where the government is putting 12% from your paycheck, or where the employer is putting 12% into your super account that you will have access to 65. And if you're an Australian citizen and you're growing up in Australia, from the age of 20, you have about 45 years to accumulate significant amounts of wealth in super. And yes, you can also go down the path of SMSF and invest in more property through that as well. However, even if you didn't, by simply having a PAYG and having super being put into that account and accumulate month after month, year after year, you will have another nest egg after 65, which you can access and use. Now, of course, there could be changes to that in the future as well, about when you can access your super and things like that, and how much you'll be taxed on that super as well. I'm not denying that. Now, that is another important pillar of financial wealth and financial freedom. And the last thing is, it's also important to accumulate cash. Whatever you're comfortable with, you need to hold in cash. It's really important to have a minimum of 6-month expenses and also have cash on top of that, right? And the more properties you have, the more in liquid cash you need to hold, because things can go wrong. It's not a matter of if things go wrong, it's a matter of when things go wrong. You're gonna need cash to bail you out of your properties, to get you out of a difficult situation when it comes to medical bills or school bills, or your son crashes your car and you need to pay the excess. Then you need to have those cash, that liquid cash available. If you don't have liquid cash available, then you're putting yourself in a very precarious spot, that where one financial disaster can ruin your life completely, right? And there are a lot of people who are investing in property who have 5, 6 properties but have nothing in cash or very little in cash. And those people genuinely worry me, because you literally are one roof replacement away from financial ruin. Investing is a risky thing. It's a risky business. Now, it is relatively safe when you're talking about ETFs and property, but it's still, things can go wrong. It's not a matter of when, it's a matter of if. So it's important to have cash. Now, you need to be disciplined as well. You can't just be spending that cash left, right, and center just because you have it. You need to put it in an account, store it away, and if something happens, then you can access it. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about is that everything that I've talked about here, everything about all this investing, when it comes to property, when it comes to stocks, when it comes to super, and when it comes to cash, everything is passive investing. It doesn't take a genius to invest into stocks. Your super is handled automatically for you. You can set up transactions for your cash. And with property, you do the research in property, you buy the property, and then you forget about it. You don't just sit there every day after your 9 to 5 job thinking about property. Oh, where can I invest next? What should I buy next? What do I do next with this property? You might not be able to do anything for the next 2 years after you buy that property. Now, this is a really important point to make, because now, after you've invested in your property, you have all this extra time to do whatever you want, right? And I think, and honestly speaking, the real key when it comes to building wealth or achieving financial freedom is by creating value. And what I mean by this is that you need to go out and start a business. Now, I know this may sound like a broken record, but there is nothing that will help you achieve financial freedom and financial certainty sooner than it is to build a business. By creating value, you not only become your own boss, you become in charge of the money, the cash flow, your future by creating a business. And let me tell you, it's very hard to create a successful business. Right? I've tried many businesses along the way. Some have failed, some have failed miserably, others have worked for a short period of time, others have worked for years. Now, no business eventually survives decades and decades. However, by creating value, you can exponentially grow your wealth, right? Just like property exponentially grows over time. Same with ETFs, same with your super. By creating a business, that will lead to exponential growth. Because let me tell you something. When you work a normal PAYG income, a job paid by an employer, the usual maximum of what people can achieve in Australia with most jobs is going to be $150,000 to $250,000. $30,000. That's about it. And most people don't even reach that target anyway, right? And we're talking about corporate jobs here. Now, yes, you might find the odd mining job paying you 500K. I don't know. But most people will fall under that bracket. And after that point, you're stuck. And the real way to build wealth is by creating value. That is your ticket to financial freedom. Not property, not stocks, not super, not cash. Creating value. Go find a skill set or learn a new skill set and find how you can provide value to that community, and then you can make some real money, right? Because property is not the way to financial freedom. And by the way, a lot of those big buyers agents that you hear working with and they charge $25,000, $30,000 to purchase a property, a lot of their clients, they are business owners. They are successful people in other realms of their occupation. Some are doctors that have their own clinic. Some are IT businessmen. Some run their own lawn mowing service. And I know this for a fact because I've seen the clients who use the big buy agents you see on YouTube. And they don't just have a normal PAYG income. They have businesses that create real value. They take that income from the business and they invest into property, stocks, super, and cash, and they let their money work for it. But they also work for their money. So the next time someone tries to sell you the dream of escape your 9 to 5 and achieve financial freedom through property, please take that with a grain of salt. It's a 15 to 20-year journey, and most people don't even achieve it, right? Again, I want to make it very clear. I'm not saying don't invest in property. You need to invest into property because that will help you grow your wealth, but it's not the key to financial freedom, right? If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below, and also jump into the private community so we can help you find your next property. Till next time, thank you very much.